My name is Rikki Smith. I am born in Syracuse, New York, which means I am a military brat and I'm not from anywhere. Both my parents were in the Air Force, and then I married some super cute guy in the Army after I was in the Army myself. So we traveled all over the place. But I've been in El Paso off and on since 1989. So I love it here. It's been amazing. I've worked in a lot of different places. And then I started a business like most folks do. So I own a training company and it's called Stratus Training and Consulting. And then I also have an online presence through my Faith on Friday, which is a YouTube channel that we've had now for like 5 years. It's been amazing and challenging, and I wouldn't change any of it. Well, I attend church, of course. And I say, of course, because most folks look at you and they assume you go to church. And I do. I am a member at Destiny Church over on the Northeast side. And I've been going there for about 20 years. I met my husband there. So it holds a special place in my heart. For anybody looking for a spouse, I would always recommend, if you're at church, get on the welcoming committee. Yes, get on the welcoming committee. But I enjoy it there, and we've had so much fun. I raised my children there, and it's been a wonderful experience being a part of the church. I'm a part of so many things, a lot of online networking events, and I am a speaker, so I belong to a speakers guild. I also have, as a woman, you may have noticed, I actually am part of a women's networking group called Polka Dot Powerhouse, which is amazing. You'll have to hit me up to find out more about that. I also am a member of Her Element Networking. So I do lots of things in the city, and it keeps me pretty busy. So in the military. I was in the Army, and anybody who has Air Force parents or Air Force lineage knows that going into the Army is pretty much sacrilegious. And so my parents were not as excited about me going into the military, first of all, let alone going into the Army. But I did, and it was such a great opportunity for me. I learned some things about myself that I did not know. I realized that I'm more capable than I gave myself credit for. And I was also a communication specialist. Imagine that. So it kind of all lined up with what I was doing. And I went some amazing places, met some rock star people, and I would not have traded that experience for anything, to include basic training over at Fort Jackson, South Carolina on Tank Hill, for those of y'all who know. If I could go back in time and talk to my 17-year-old self, I know, first of all, I would find her in a room by herself reading a book, and I would have to smack the book out of her hand and let her know, girl, get out there. The world is waiting for you. You have a voice. Don't squash it. Use it. You do have something to offer, and you are necessary. Get out of those books and get into the world. They're waiting. Young girls and women, life in and of itself is hard enough for us. We have strikes against us. We walk out as women, one. And then if you are a woman of color, that's strike two. But here's the thing, the strikes against you doesn't count you out. It's an opportunity, but you have to see it as that. So take every swing. Note the baseball analogy, because yes, I'm a huge fan too anyway. But swing for the fences every single time. Don't be afraid. And if you are, do it afraid. Don't worry, you're not the only one that's scared. Somebody else is, but in order for you to lead, you have to be the one to be able to walk through your fear and do it anyway. And you'll be surprised at how many people will follow you. A pivotal or aha moment in my life. There have been so many, but I would have to say, it's funny now that I look back on it, but at the time it was, to me, an existential crisis, and I was probably about to pass out again. I was 30 years old, and I had locked my newborn son in the house. I was petrified. I was so shaken. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to go to, and I was by myself. I was undone. The aha moment came when I realized I'm not the only one this has ever happened to. I'm not the last one this will ever happen to. And because that being the case, I'm going to get through it. Of course, what happened is my neighbor came. She helped me open the door. My kid was asleep and didn't even know that mommy was having a nervous breakdown in the hallway. But that was my aha moment. And from that time forward, I remember that. I'm not the first one. I won't be the last one. So follow in someone else's footsteps and do it well, because someone else is watching. If I had the opportunity to speak with one person alive and one person deceased, who would it be? The deceased one is almost easier, but that would have to be my mother. My mom died when she was much younger. She was 48 years old when she died. And since that time, so many things have happened to me, and I totally need to tell her about them, because I think that she would be surprised, sorta, amazed, only kinda, but incredibly proud. So I need to tell her so much stuff. Oh my God, there's so much stuff we need to talk about. If the person that I would want to speak to alive would be Condoleezza Rice. I just think that woman is phenomenal. And I think that she is pretty much unsung, in that people don't realize so many cool things about her. She is a huge football fan, for one thing. So we already have that in common. She is a classically trained pianist. People don't realize that. She went to college when she was ridiculously like 14 or 15 years old. And then all of that, and became the Secretary of State because she found her love in political science. And then as a woman of color, man, there's so many things I would want to ask her, and so many things that I know that she would share and could tell me. I would be literally sitting at her feet just to get everything I could from her. So one thing that I would like to accomplish in this lifetime, let's start there. In this lifetime, there are so many things. There are yet places that I need to go. There are people that I need to talk to. There are stages that I yet need to be on. There are opportunities that haven't found me yet. So to answer that in one nutshell is almost impossible, because the opportunities are endless. But one thing I think I would like to see in this lifetime, that's even harder still, because there's so many things. I would love to see justice served in so many areas. I would love to see when someone of color does something, minus the moniker of the first. I would love to see children learning in an environment that is conducive to the way they are going to live, not to conducive to where they are living right now. I would love to see books that haven't yet been written, songs that haven't yet been sung. There's so many what ifs. Again, the possibilities are endless. Now that I can answer in lots of terms. One place that I would like to visit, and why? Okay, there are two. First, I need to go to Egypt. I need to go to Egypt because I'm sure that I'm descended from some sort of a princess or something. If not, I just love to see the pyramids. I would love to see that. That would be amazing. And then I would love to go to Alaska. Alaska is my dream trip for so many reasons. They call Alaska the last frontier. I would love to see the glaciers. I would love to go on a dog sled. I would love to see the Iditarod run, which is that dog sled race. I would love that. And I would love to see the whale sightings, take that tour. But yeah, Alaska is my dream trip. Aw, what makes me happy? People think it's a cliche, but folks that know me know it's true. I really am pretty much happy all the time. There isn't one thing or another that makes me happy. I used to tell my children something that I still live by today: look for God in everything. And that makes me happy. I love waking up in the morning when the sun is shining. I think that is so beautiful. I love waking up in the morning and it's raining. I think that is so beautiful. I love waking up in the morning. I think that's so beautiful. So I love people. I love food. So what makes me happy is just a myriad of things. But normally I have a genuinely spirit of joy. So I'm pretty happy most of the time. Again, my gosh, I read a lot. So a quote that inspires me usually comes from something that I've read or someone that I've read. One of the things that I remember that is so true has become truer in my life the older I get is something that Henry Ford said. Whether you believe you are or believe you're not, you're right. I love that. But then too, as a Christian individual, there are a myriad of scriptures in the Bible that I can go with. But one of my favorite one is fret not yourself for evildoers. And the reason why is because for sometimes it's hard for me sometimes to see other people super succeeding. And I feel like all I'm doing is walking uphill. But it's okay. I have to remember, don't panic. You know, you're next, whatever that next looks like. Wow, I read a lot. I always have. So right now I am reading a book by a friend of mine. It's called Passion and Pajamas by Genevieve Patiro. Get it? Super cool. Really inspiring. I am reading, it's at this time of the month, it's not that time of the month, but this time of the month during Black History. I read a lot of Black authors or about famous Black folks. And I'm reading right now an autobiography of Frederick Douglass, which is really interesting. There's so much people don't know about him. Get the book. I'm one of those people, I read 2 and 3 books at the same time because they're like conversations to me. I remember where I was. And I'm also reading right now, I'm actually reading Right Thinking by Joseph Prince. Wow. So on my musical playlist, don't judge me, I'm an 80s chick. I love 80s music. I love soft rock. So I will have things like Rump Shaker. I got stuff, anything by some of the TLC, love their stuff. Yeah, I have my White Snake issues every now and again. I got some classical music because I think classical piano and classical guitar sounds so beautiful. But then I have, my pump it up, get hot, R&B. So yeah, it's a mood thing, what I feel like today. My life as a woman is an ever-changing journey. It is amazing, it is scary, it is hard, it is easy, but most of all, it is necessary. What I love about El Paso is food, people, and food. Did I say food already? I want to make sure that's in there. I believe El Paso can be more inviting by letting people know that we're here. We are more than a one-horse town, and that there is so many things that you can do here. There's more to do than you think. What the world needs now, wrong one, okay. What the world needs now is, yes, love, but we need some equity in the world. We need some consistency in the world. We need some honesty in the world. And we need reality in the world. And I do not mean Real Housewives of anything. We need some reality. I think the gem and the jewel in El Paso that people may not know about is, again, we have one of the oldest cemeteries in the country at Concordia. If you've never been there, check it out. It's more than you think. It shows you what diversity looks like here in El Paso. There is a section for the Chinese, the people that came here on the railroad. There is a section of the people of the Jewish faith. It's so neat. Then we have also the Holocaust Museum. If you're a museum person, you really want to be here. If you are a Wild West buff, you want to be here. Billy the Kid rolled through here, and so did Bat Masterson. And some people may not know, a number of the cowboys that were Black cowboys came through here as well. So El Paso in and of itself is a jewel, but like any good jewel, you may have to mine for it. COVID-19, what I've learned so much. One of the things that I learned is that you can exhaust Netflix. You're welcome. Another thing that I learned is that I had started a business not during the pandemic, but just before. I understood for the first time the word pivot, which I now hate more than everything. But I learned that I needed to be prepared for what I could not see. Didn't know how to do that at the time. I learned that. I realized also that there are opportunities in something that was seemingly so awful. I became something that I didn't expect to be during this pandemic. So I learned that I didn't have to shop every day. And I realized that the clothes in my closet, I can wear them more than once. Wow. If I could title a song for my life, what would it be and why? I have 1,000 things going through my head. Don't stop till you get enough. I love that song. First of all, it's got a cool beat and you can dance to it, but it is. Don't stop till you get enough. Don't let someone else dictate to you what enough looks like for you. So don't stop till you get enough. You can find me online everywhere. And I tell everyone, if you can't find Rikki Smith online, you're not looking. You can find me on LinkedIn under Rikki Smith. You can find me on Facebook under Rikki Smith. You can go to YouTube and find me under Rikki Smith, but you can also look for me under Faith on Friday on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, on everywhere. You can always find me. And if you are looking for something to add to your reading list, I would recommend my book. It's called Faith on Friday, A Deeper Dive. And it's more of like a coaching book, but it's for you. Short stories, dated, and you have questions you have to answer. So kind of neat for yourself and great as a gift. To El Paso, thank you for everything. Thank you for showing me what a real taco looked like. Thank you for introducing me to pozole. I didn't know what that was, and now I love it more than everything. Thank you for some of the best friends that I've ever met. Thank you for opportunities that I never knew I wanted. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the gift of the jewel that you are. Thank you so much for everything that I could not thank you for, but realize now I could not do without. To El Chuco. Gracias para todos.